Welcome to this conversation with the Morning Tea Marketing Missus, where we get together and offer valuable tips to help you grow your business, grow your mindset, give you some positive ideas on how to maybe improve your visibility on and offline. But this month, we're talking about you as a person, values, success, how you measure it, a whole lot of ideas coming out. Our hosts, as usual, are Narelle Gaddy, who is Accessibility Auditor, myself, Janeen Vosper, and I help people stand out through their own personal brand. Lara Arden is our business awards coach. I don't know why I stumble over that. I know what you do. That's 3 simple words, Lara. Business awards coach. Hang on, I'll add another word. Awesome business awards coach. And Jan Roesch has 2 businesses, BizConnect Web Design and Over 50s Help. Hey, ladies, great to be back here chatting again.
Hi,
I think Jan's going to be sharing with us this week.
Okay, so we've covered a few things over the last couple of weeks, but I was asked the question this week, and that is, what motivates me? So as an extension of that, I want to talk about what motivates me to achieve. So as you all know, I am a powerlifter. I am officially an Australian powerlifter, representing Australia next month at the World Championships. So, as you could well imagine, if you're not an athlete, just imagine what it is like as an elite athlete and the discipline and the motivation to achieve that goes behind all of that. And before becoming that athlete, I had no idea what motivation or achieving goals really meant. Whereas now I know that I am results driven. And so I apply being results driven not only to myself personally, but also to my business. And by extension, that also benefits my clients, whether it be with my Over 50s Health business or my web design company. So with the web design company, what excites me is learning about what our clients want to achieve. And so their business is a vehicle to achieving some goals. And sure, having money in the bank is definitely going to be one of them, because without that money, there's no funny, right? So they need to make sure that they're making profit in their business to stay in business and provide the goods and services that their business provides. So for us, learning about what motivates our clients it's pretty exciting for me, just learning, getting to know an individual, because from the outside, we don't usually see all of that. We just see their branding, and we can sometimes get a good understanding about what they're about by looking at their branding. But their branding is a lot, as we all know. There's a lot behind branding. It's not just the logo. So understanding that, learning all about that for me is fantastic, because then I can help in some way through their online presence to achieve their goals. So that's fantastic. So that's quite motivating for me, because again, being results driven, I love seeing success and being part of seeing someone's success. So with me, when it comes, going back to the athlete in me drives and shapes my life. So, and again, I'm going to mention this again. Janeen said something a little while ago, and that is, I am being organized gives me flexibility. I love that. I quote that very often. and so I kind of live by that now too, right? So what motivates me in the health industry with over 50s in particular? Yes, I have clients that are not over 50, but I have lots of clients. I have, and my oldest one right now is 83, and she's a little dynamo, and she's just amazing. So what motivates me there is seeing the results, being results driven, just seeing the look on people's faces when they learn something new. You know, for our last recording, we talked about, we do things this way because this is how it's always done. that can be detrimental when we're talking about women who think that if they lift weights, they're going to look like a man. That is so not true, so scary, because we all need to be lifting weights. We need to be doing some kind of resistance training. We need to be putting our bones and our muscles under load for our health, for our longevity. And that, in case you can't tell, I am very passionate about. So I started lifting. I started powerlifting for, well, I didn't start powerlifting for my health. It was just great that I got well enough after being really ill, where I nearly didn't make it through a surgery. And through my recovery, I then started working with a strength and conditioning coach. And from there, I became strong. And then someone suggested to me that I start powerlifting because I'm strong and I'm lifting heavy weights, right? So learning about strength for myself and what it did for my health was one thing. So I became very passionate because, you know, when you almost lose your life, things look a bit different. Yeah, when you find something that has actually tangible, it's not just something that, you know, you talk about, but it is something that's real and you've experienced yourself. So when, like this morning, my client, we were talking about comparing, because I was saying that when people see me, I'm a power lifter. Yep, I've got multiple records, world records, whatever. And it can either go one way or the other. People will look at my profile and go, oh, wow, I would never be able to train like, I'd never be able to do that. I can't train with her. And then the flip side is people look at my profile and go, oh, wow, that's fantastic. That's exactly who I need to be training with. So there is a big divide between the two. And then along comes me and starts teaching people different. So this morning we were talking about comparing, and I just straight away go, you do not look at anybody else. You do not compare yourself to anybody else, because you're you, and your ability and your fitness level, your strength level, your mindset, everything is different to any other person on the planet. So, and to see her face, she pulled back and actually thought, okay, I'm going to take this in and I'm going to really listen to this. And so she put herself into that conversation with me about not comparing herself to me. I said, because we're talking about bench press, and she was super excited. She had a personal best of 35 kilos today, which was just amazing, just fantastic. And because I showed her my video just for the purpose of showing her my setup. Bench press is very, very technical. And so I was just showing her my setup, and I was doing 65 kilos. And so she was like, oh, you know, I can't compare myself to you. Well, no, I would never expect you to compare yourself to me. And I don't even compare myself to anybody else either, because I am different to everybody else, right? And so
on that's what did you use to motivate her then, Jan? I'd be interested to know.
So just helping her to see her, right? Her ability, how great she is at bench. Like out of the three lifts that we focus on, squat, bench press, and deadlift, bench press is her favorite lift. And so just pointing out that each week that she does a little more weight than what she did the week before, or her technique is a bit better, or her setup is better than what it was. It's all progressively overloading, and it's all progression, right? So just helping her to celebrate her achievements and her success and how she was progressing is what I wanted her to focus on, and she got that. Right? So she understood what I was talking about there, and that is and I think she's very much success driven too, / competitive, right? So it's a fine line. I know that very well. And that it was just brilliant to see the look on her face when she realized, because I didn't tell her what weight I'd actually put on, because she knew it was going to be 30 something. And because, you know, the last week she did 33, so I just popped it up to 35. And when she did it, she let out an expletive and said, oh, what was that? And I just said, high five, PB 35. So it was really terrific to see that, that really landed with her. And it just motivates. I just see people taking that mini celebration that we have, just a silly fist pump or a high five or whatever is so motivating.
So just asking, if someone is not competitive,
Yep.
I don't know anyone, but certainly not me.
What is that, right?
Yeah, I know. That's right. Well, why aren't they competitive? But I have people tell me all the time I'm not very competitive. I mean, I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts on of someone that they're working with hasn't got that competition, or you don't have that within yourself. What is it?
I don't know if the word competitive covers everything that we're talking about, though, because it could be that success leaves clues, right? So if the feeling that she got when she realized that she did a PB and that I made her focus on her and how great that was rather than comparing herself to me, and just that feeling, it was like, okay, so do we want to quit it there, or do we want to try one more time? And she's like, no, I want to do it again. Right. So it's like it's addictive.
I was sort of thinking, though, I'm very competitive. I don't have to beat anyone else. I just have to beat myself.
Yes.
And not beat myself up, just beat myself.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. And so
that's my competitive. Laurie, for you, where do you see yourself on that?
Yeah, thank you. It's a good question. So I've actually, for myself, I've been competing in competitions with my dancing actually since the age of 10. I went into my first competition, and I entered into my last competition for dancing in August, a month ago. And I'm now 56, so I've been doing it a long time, going in and out of different competitions. At a personal level, I love it. And what I love about competing is the opportunity it gives me to measure my success and my level of improvement from, 1 year to the other, or from one competition to the other. And, I might not get to a competition every year. It might be every couple of years. So from the last competition, last time that I entered that particular competition to the next time, I'll be going, oh, wow, look at this. I'm so much better. And it's just a little bit of personal validation and recognition. And then I think the other thing as well that I really appreciate the value of competition is that it gives us the opportunity to stop and reflect on our trials that we've been able to turn into triumphs. And when we've been able to live through experiences like that and really appreciate ourselves or those around us and the way that they've turned their trials into triumph to unleash their brilliance within, that is just incredible. Like, that's what makes me be a business awards coach, to see people be recognized for the achievements that they've made, at a personal and professional level. Because, when we've faced some sort of a setback and we can turn that around into a comeback, that is so award worthy, and it deserves recognition. And there's people like that around us every day, and we are like that within ourselves as well. I think anyone that gets to 50 plus, you deserve a medal, because it probably hasn't been without a few bumps and bruises along the way, right?
I was just thinking about that competitiveness for me. What you do, Jan, is very quantifiable. You can lift it or you can't. That's measurable. But you, with your dancing, Lara, and me with my speaking competitions or any awards I've gone into, it's not quantifiable. It's somebody's opinion.
Someone else's
someone else's judgment, and I struggle with that. And I'm sort of very much the one. Okay, tell me what I did wrong.
Go girl.
Yeah, I was like that. I won a chamber award last year, and this year I didn't get to be a finalist. How come? What's the story? How rude is that? So that for me is that what I mean by competitive. Now, Rel, we need to wrap up. What about you?
I just think the other side of it is those people who are saying they're not very competitive are probably afraid to be competitive, that there's that fear that they're going to lose again, and it's just going to show up their inadequacies, or what they feel their inadequacies are again. And I think that's very sad.
It is. It is, because rejection is a part of life. Like even our bodies are rejecting us as we get older. So we're kind of surrounded by it, and we're living through it all the time. Every sort of choice that comes up, we're going to reject something, one or the other, A or B. And I guess, for me, from my own experiences, where I've learned to manage that better emotionally, is that I try to not take it so personally. Or if I'm going to, then I'll stop and question, and I'll be like Janeen, and I'll think, okay, so what's changed? If it was okay a year ago and it's not today, what's different? And then I would become curious and inquiring, because I would be seeing it as an opportunity to learn something more, that perhaps there's something new that I didn't know about myself. Like, we've all got blind spots, so it's perfectly fine to not know.
Absolutely. And that's what helps it to investigate, then to have that self-reflection. But I like that. I had never thought about that, Narelle, with that, not have fear of doing something in case. And
there's a lot behind that, like digging into that would scare me, actually, to have to dig into that, because I'm more like, oh, that's rubbish, let's just get on with it. Right? And don't allow myself to dig into it.
And I make a suggestion, something I learned recently that can be helpful in, if you like, unearthing those sorts of beliefs that we know aren't really that helpful or useful for us in being progressive, is that there's a technique called the 13 whys, where you start with, why do I feel like that? Oh, why did, or 13 whys, or 13 whys, what's, or where, sorry, it's the 3 whys, what's, or where's, but you ask the question 13 times. Why do I feel like that? Where is that coming from? What else does that look like, or who else does things like that? Because the more we can unpack it, apparently every belief is like 13 layers deep. And so the more that we can unpack it,
that's just too much for me.
The more we clear and it's the clearest.
I just need more chocolate.
Well, there's that strategy.
I love that concept. I do the same thing in sales. I keep asking why do people buy from me? Why? It annoys the clients I work with, but eventually we get really good answers. Thank you so much for that, Jan, and everybody, for that great conversation. The topic for the last month just keeps building and building. I love it. And that's another conversation with the Morning Tea Marketing Missus. Remember to find us on YouTube channel and subscribe with the conversation. We'd love to hear your comments on any of the conversations we have. We look forward to you joining us next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.